I'd like to call the Nantucket Town Council meeting, April 22nd, regular meeting to adjournment. Debbie, can you please call the roll?
Sure. Councilmember Brockmeyer. Councilmember Berger.
Present.
Councilmember Holdren.
Present.
Councilmember Marino.
Here.
Councilmember Knock.
Here.
Councilmember Oswald.
Present.
And Mayor Foskey.
Thank you.
A quorum is established.
Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic that we stand, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a couple of minor adjustments to the agenda here. The farmer's market presentation is going to occur before the public hearing. The resolution for 20 Market Street is the developer has pulled that resolution. We don't need that. That's going to be taken off the agenda. And we are going to have a closed session at the end as well. So if there's any problem with anybody on council, can we take up the three changes? Thank you.
We need a motion for that, or just?
I don't think so. It's consensus. Not doing anything. All right, the first item on the agenda is the public hearing for the 2024-2025 budget. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's approve the minutes for the March 25th meeting. We have a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
I second it.
Okay, discussion, any changes on the minutes?
Question, did I sent a couple of things, did those get,
Yes,
thank you.
yes.
I wanted to ask about on page 5. It says there will be a mosaic raffle the Welcome Center to be visible for those people parking in the parking lot walking toward the main part of town. Is that part of the mural grant? Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Any other additions or corrections in the minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Public hearing, and I'll get on public hearing, we're doing it a little different this year, you may know there was no, oh, I'm sorry, I jumped it. We're gonna have the farmer's market thing first, please. I said that.
Hold on.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, members of the town council, thank you so much for giving me the chance to talk to you today. My name is Teresa Van Dussel, and I'm the manager of the Nantucket Farmers Market. And I'd like to talk to you a little bit today about our market, and especially about our winter market. The Nantucket Farmers Market is a nonprofit, local, vendor-produced market that began in 2012. It was really founded with two main goals in mind: to provide the local farmers, bakers, and artisans with an outlet to sell their products, and especially to support the historic downtown of Nantucket. It started as a summertime market running from May through October. And now in its 13th year, the summer market brings in approximately 10,000 people into the downtown of Nantucket each year. And that is probably a fairly conservative estimate. It may even be a little bit higher than that. But the influx of extra people into the town used to end every year when the market closed for the season. In 2020, the farmers and bakers of the market became interested in creating a co-op style winter market to run from the months of December through April. Offered a free space at 20 Market Street, they put in the creativity, effort, and manpower to make this idea a reality. In the past few years, we have seen a dramatic increase in the number of people that the winter market brings into the downtown of Nantucket. There was approximately a 20% increase in sales from the first to the second year of the market during the post-COVID recovery era. But between the second and the third year, We have seen sales and number of shoppers about double, which is really amazing. This is just increasing, going up and up. So now the winter market is bringing in another 3,000 people at least into the downtown during the 5 months it's open. And this really benefits the town. It puts boots on the ground here in the downtown. It brings shoppers week after week, right into the downtown of Hancock, looking for fresh produce, baked goods of a quality they can't get elsewhere. And then they go on to support the other businesses in the town. Winter Market also helps individuals in the community as well. One of our vendors is sole caretaker of an uncle who has dementia, and having both the summer and the winter market allows her to have a year-round business from her home. We have one customer who told us that she has made the lifestyle choice to not have a motor vehicle. And so she relies on the market for her groceries. So having a year-round market is really important to her. We now have to relocate the winter market, as the space at 20 Market Street is in renovation, preparing for a new tenant. We really want to stay in the center of the downtown of Hancock. We feel that this is the greatest benefit to the town as well as to the market and its vendors. The market board has been working with the town and with Hill Studio Design Firm and the owners of the Littleton building to relocate the summer market. We'd also like to find a way to relocate the winter market. Based on the current space that we have, we need a structure of at least 550 square feet. And we've identified an area, the town owned land behind the Chandler building as a potential site. And we'd like to respectfully request that the town support our continuing existence as a winter market by allowing us to relocate to the property. Our plan is to conduct a capital campaign to raise funds for a prefabricated building to place on the site. And we believe this really would be a win-win situation, allowing the winter market to continue to operate and bring more people into the town here. If you go to the next slide, please. This shows the area that is the town of land. This area here. Just in closing, I'd like to say on a personal note, tell you how many of our market vendors have told me how much they really love coming here. Many of our vendors have been approached by other markets and about coming to other markets instead of Hancock, and to a vendor, they have said that they prefer it here. One of our vendors, a couple who split their time between Hancock and another market, that said they want to attend Hancock more now because we just love it here. And you hear on the town council and everyone, all the citizens here in Hancock have fostered a spirit in this town that's unique. It's rare. People really recognize that. Thank you. Thank you all so much.
Does council have any questions for Teresa?
I do.
Go ahead.
Can we see the slide again with where the area is that you're asking to be designated for the market? It's on there.
Oh, Mavis.
On the back, okay. I can see it better there.
So you would work with a you would work with a design, with a field or student design, and that would be subject to approval from the town.
Correct.
About what it would look like.
Yes.
So
All right, Mavis, there you go.
Just
on the screen.
I'm concerned about parking, traffic, and safety with that market in that parking lot. I'm also concerned that this year would only be a temporary fix because we've got to take down, when they do road construction, it's usually in spring and summer when the roads can be done. So I'm wondering whether this is a good idea, and maybe it's a great idea, but maybe not for right now.
So you would work, you have no specific design yet, you're asking for us,
No, we're
You're-
just, we are in the early planning.
you would ask you would ask for permission first to could come up with a design and present to us about what the building is gonna look like and exactly where it would be on that
Yeah,
property.
yes,
So that,
that would be. It would all be subject to the council's approval.
Question, would there be any usage of the winter market building during the outdoor summer market part of the year?
We're still, like I said, we're still kind of in planning. That's a really, really good question. We'll have to, have a discussion with the board about that. And get back to you.
And there's no existing structure there, right? Or is there?
no,
Okay, so you're asking to have a structure put up there.
Yes, there, yeah.
I don't, you're not talking about anything that's hooked up to the, there's not gonna be toilets or anything, it's gonna be a
We
six.
don't need them because they're the public bathrooms, right?
And it's not even gonna have heat and cooling, correct? I mean, well, not, we don't know, we don't know.
Right, but it's just, it is a building.
Right, structure, yeah.
But it would be, if I heard right, it would be a building provided by the market on the land
Correct,
of the town, not the town's building with the markets.
correct. That is our plan. To conduct a capital campaign to raise money for.
Any other questions?
Yes. Is the one-story block with the front, is that the restroom side of the building?
That's that one story, that's the Chandler building
Yes, I know that.
and the part that it zigzags off of it is Williston.
I see. So on the left is bathroom side, yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the sidewalk on the big?
Right in that triangle coming up, where that, see that dotted line coming down?
Okay.
Yeah, coming down. It's not much space between. Yeah, they're right there, I'll show you. So you're just asking permission to get the preliminary work and present back to us.
Yes,
The-
just to handle it.
Anybody have?
It would be nice to see how this would tie in with the overall parking, sidewalk,
Yes,
and summer market plan. So we see a whole layout, how it works.
well, I think Bill has actually looked at this, a little bit, so, yeah, I mean, we need some. Work design work.
Do you have a date when you have to leave where you are now?
We understand that the building is in renovation for new tenants, so it won't be available to us next season. So,
You start in December, correct?
yes, it's starting to start.
Will you have a summer market this year and its current location?
Yes, we plan to open in its current location, for the beginning of this year.
Okay, that'll be May something.
Yes, the first Saturday in
Thank you.
Any other questions? Anybody have a resolution or anybody comment?
We don't have enough information to do a resolution. Or even just we're waiting to see what the plan looks like. We don't want to jump that gun.
Okay, is everybody?
But I mean, I guess, are you asking? Is there a consensus to allow the exploration to
Yes,
continue?
yes, yes.
Why do we need to consent?
No,
That's
we're just on
on that.
consensus.
That's a consensus is a consent. isn't it? We don't need to have a consensus for them to decide what they're going to do.
Well, I don't think they want to proceed if we're totally against it, but, they don't want to waste the time,
I think we should
We don't know
encourage
what
them
we're against.
to proceed. Because I see the value of the market, I use it, I like it,
To proceed with what?
planning.
To bring the plan back?
Yes.
Fine.
Okay, all right, any questions? All right, thank you. All right, back to the public hearing, as the public hearing, we're actually gonna have several, public information sessions. This is the first one. This one is more of a, in the paper, if you notice in the paper, if there was no budget published, it was just a map, ask for ideas. So we're here to listen to people that want to put, if they have a request for the town to be put in the budget. So coming up on May 13th, there's gonna be a budget workshop.
15th,
And do
isn't it?
we time for that yet?
Hold on,
It's 6 o'clock, you wanna do it at 7?
hold up.
6 at 6 o'clock, all right?
Oh, he's right.
So there's gonna be a budget workshop on the 13th, and then following on May 20th, will be another public hearing. So you'll have, and then the budget should hopefully be somewhat finalized, so you can actually look at the details of the budget. And then in June, we will vote to adopt the budget. So there's, there's 2 more times when, the work session, we will not probably take a lot of public input, but at the next public hearing, we will. You'll have more of a budget to see that. Tonight, we're asking for, input on how, what you want to see in the budget, or questions with, what you think the problems with the budget are. So let me start, you want to say anything about the budget, or, there's right now?
No, that was exactly it. We just wanted to get the residents' opinions before we formed the budget this
Right.
time, rather than after.
Right, we're probably doing a little bit different. I think this is gonna be a better way to do it. So if anybody has any, so we'll start with the,
Those,
sorry.
those might not be all for the public hearing. That's
Okay.
all of the public,
Yeah,
okay.
What was the time set for the 13th, or did we?
I think it was gonna be 6 o'clock. Is that okay? Yeah, 6 o'clock. It'll be a workshop, yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, George Brown, I thought you're probably gonna talk about pickleball, right? I'll wait for the regular, this is the budget hearing, okay? Actually, I guess I need to formally open the budget. So,
Yes, you do.
Formally open the public hearing for the budget. We got Patsy. You have a comment about the budget?
Yeah.
Okay, come on up, please. Actually, I guess you need to talk about it, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the
I-
pickleball is part of the
It is
budget.
part of the budget, George. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, look, you're asking for.
That's the sweet sound of pickleball.
Excuse me, can I, yeah, there's a 3-minute time limit, okay. Also, yeah, by the way, can you start it? Debbie, you got time? Yeah.
I do, but.
All right, 002. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members and staff. My name is George Brown. My address is 15542 Nebo Lane, 23417. I'm here this evening to ask that you consider the approval of funds to construct 3 pickleball courts in Hancock. In 2023, pickleball was again the fastest growing sport in the U.S. From 2021 to 2022 alone, the sport grew by 85%. There were 36.5 million pickleball players in the U.S., many of whom are in this room tonight. Something. I'd ask them to stand up. And just for the record, I've beaten everyone. 14% of all Americans have played pickleball within the last 12 months. 14%. There are over 10,000 locations to play pickleball in the U.S., with about 130 being added every month. Pickleball players range in age from 60 to 80 plus. In fact, in the Pittsburgh Senior Olympics that I played in last summer, we had people in their 90s playing. And 49% of this town's population is age 50 or over. Many people who travel for business and pleasure seek out pickleball courts. I'm retired now, but I used to travel extensively for work. And everywhere I went around the country, I found pickleball courts to play. You received an email on April 17th and another one on April 20th, laying the groundwork, showing the need for the courts. As stated in the material you received, there are no public courts now. We're in the planning stages for the mid-shore. Players living in the Hancock area like myself have to travel either to Chincoteague or to Cape Charles to find public courts, about an hour each way. I live 10 minutes south, but my late wife Leilani and I have always considered Hancock to be our town. Hancock is a beautiful place with so much to offer visitors. New amenities like the EV charging stations and these new pickleball courts would be additional attractions for people visiting. Those visitors eat in our restaurants, shop in our stores, and stay in our hotel and bed and breakfasts. That spending boosts the local economy and increases tax revenues, as I'm sure all of you know. You've received our best estimate for building 3 courts. There's space at the dog park location to build the 3 courts, all facing in the preferred north-south direction. If you build them, people will come. We're asking for approximately $80,000 to build the 3 courts, complete with fencing. Let's continue to work together to make Hancock a special and wonderful place. Next year, I hope to add an Hancock pickleball tournament gold medal to my collection. And I want to thank the mayor and council for their service to the community and the opportunity to make this presentation. And I'm happy to answer any questions. if you have any.
Thank you. Is there anybody, I'm assuming there are other people talking about pickleball, okay, ask questions, when it comes up, yeah.
I have one.
Oh, yeah.
In, thank you. In several, areas, the YMCA has the pickleball courts. I'm just wondering whether any appeal has been made to them to, make the basketball courts available or to build on their property. Because that's part of their agenda.
So the only thing I know about the Y is that the court that we have in there, the basketball courts that are inside the gym now, that court is very dangerous to play on because the walls are too close to the lines.
Okay,
So
so that's a
as
no.
far as, well, as far as their ability to have on, I don't know.
I'm just asking
Yeah, it's a
because
good
I know when you go to, I don't know, it's Route 115, if the first town you come to, the Y is there. And the Y has pickleball courts there. I just wondered whether that would be an alternative ask.
Oh, are you talking about up in Pocono? That one?
Yeah, just when you turn on to,
The 113.
113.
Yeah. Yeah, there are public courts there as well. That's about the same distance as Chincoteague.
That's about the same distance as Chincoteague. Okay. Okay. Just an answer.
No, they're good courts, but they're also an hour away.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And sadly, the people that go there don't eat in our restaurants and buy things from our stores.
Is anybody else speaking? Or do we direct our questions?
You go ahead, your question, yeah.
Talking to your mic.
The information you sent us, and I have to say, you picklers are really organized, and if we could get you involved, I think we could change the world. You're doing an excellent presentation. Seems that most of, like you mentioned the Y, you have to belong to the Y.
Right.
The last time I belonged, it was $60 a month, so it seems like a lot of people are traveling to Chincoteague, where there are courts available for public use.
In fact, on any given day in the off season, there are more than 30 people playing on those courts in Chincoteague. Many of them come from Hancock like myself. During the summer, there's at least 60 people a day playing on those courts. And I've been there when vacationers, I love Chincoteague, right? I get it. But I've been there when there's vacationers there, and of course they'll ask me, hey, where's a good place to eat? Well, yeah, I'll tell them about the Zotos or Mallards and one of our places. Something that's not 45 or 50 minutes away, but I'd much rather be able to direct them to one of our places to eat or shop. And, pickleball's a great way to burn off some fun of bakery donuts.
Well, I do have another one. Dog park. Have you considered any other locations in our area other than the dog park?
The baseball field, but why did you think the dog park was a better location than the ball field? I forget.
There are some space for one point.
Yeah.
What was it?
Well, there's more space, without, we wouldn't want to take away the baseball fields. The dog park, there's open space where there's sufficient room to fill the 3 courts with the proper space in between them, so that people aren't running to each other. Those guys.
My concern is the noise at the dog park. That is a residential area.
We can take this up.
Are we going to make a motion to put it on the May agenda?
Well, it'll be on we'll talk about it in the budget hearings, the budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so we can start it. Yeah. We're not making any decisions tonight.
Mr. Mayor, could I just address the noise issue? Because
Oh, sure, yeah.
that is a good question.
Yeah.
In residential areas, pickleball noise has been a little bit of a bone of contention. From what I saw at the dog park, I think there's enough space where it wouldn't be an issue. But even if it is, one company now and the others are soon to follow have come out with noiseless pickleballs. So, yeah, because around the country, it's clearly an issue.
Are you talking about putting lights up or anything like that or not?
Not initially, that would cost a lot of money, a lot more money. Mostly right now, just for day use sports, the courts in Chincoteague don't have lights, the one in Cape Charles does. We do use those in the winter.
Just one last thing. So this would be a town-owned facility and town-maintained on an annual basis.
I mean, it's town owned, so as far as maintenance, what we've done at Chincoteague, we formed the Chincoteague Pickleball Association. And we basically take care of the courts. So if there's a storm and there's branches and leaves and things, us players, we blow them off, we get the water off with brooms, we take care of them. Now, if a tree or something fell on them and it required us to already, of course, in the town would do that, but there's no day-to-day requirements that any maintenance personnel come there and clean the courts and everything.
Is there a liability issue here with the insurance?
Probably.
I'd have to look into it.
Something we do at Chincoteague is we make everybody sign a waiver. It's a waiver.
And Chincoteague is owned by the town?
Yeah, that was a facility of, in fact, it was a parking lot that was already there, it was free.
All right. Okay. All right, thank you. Actually, the other people. Patsy?
Thank you, Mayor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the Nantucket Town Council. Thank you for this opportunity to come before you. My name is Patsy Gord, and I'm the current president of North Street Playhouse. In 2 years, in the year 2026, North Street Playhouse will be celebrating its 40th anniversary of live theater in Nantucket. We are proud that our theater is the only one on the Eastern Shore that provides year-round live professional quality productions. This year, we will celebrate our 19th year of offering our 2-week theater camp for youth ages 10 to 18. Through this camp, hundreds of youth from several states converge during summer to Nantucket to produce, perform, build sets, design costumes and props, and create performances to sold-out audiences each year. To date, we have had over 500 students who have benefited from these camps. Many continue studying arts in college and have pursued careers in various fields of the art industry. As we sit here tonight, a new ballet instructor is using our stage to showcase her new students and a production to their family and friends. We are proud to help in cultivating a creative foundation for all arts. In 2000, we moved to the current location at 34 Market Street. Like many buildings in this historic district, it holds numerous memories, beginning in 1914 as the original movie theater, a Silco appliance store, a Dollar General store, and now it's our home. Since its opening at this location, we have documented over 40,000 audience members in attendance and over 200 productions. This production that's coming up in May will be our 250th live production of over 200 plays. When these people come to our theater, they not only experience professional quality live productions, they encounter all that this picturesque town has to offer. They dine at the many exquisite restaurants, stay in the historical bed and breakfast inns, they shop at the unique businesses, and they browse and are astonished at the local artisans and galleries. Like you, we share the same pride and passion that given everyone who enters our community an unforgettable memory that keeps them coming back for more. To continue our shared vision, we are asking for the town's help. Our existing HVAC system is in need of replacement. Much of our system has been in operation since the Dollar General days. The rest is approaching 25 to 30 years in age and has outlived its constant piecemeal repairs. We're working with a local contractor who has given us an estimate to replace and update our system with mini splits, totaling $51,700. We're in the process of fundraising to secure these funds, and we are applying for grants to help in our efforts. As of today, we have raised on our own $22,750 in individual cash and pledges. We're asking the town to consider a contribution of $10,000 to help us reach our goal. If you've not had the opportunity lately, we would love to invite all of you to tour our facility and see our poetry in motion that is North Street Playhouse. Again, I respectfully thank you for your time and any consideration you give to our request. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Pretty self-explanatory. If you have any questions, we'll certainly get up to you.
Thank you very much.
Who's the president? Who's the president? You are, okay. Thank you.
want me to repeat?
I'm sorry. I'm good. All right, Casey Eager. Budget comments for
Yeah. I just wasn't sure about the sheets, right?
I know, it's confusing, but
Yeah, it was
sorry.
confusing. Casey Greer, 74 Market Street. I just wanted to mention two things. One is I attended the EDA meeting last week, and there was a considerable conversation about providing them with a startup fund before they begin generating funds on their own, and I totally support that. It's a mandated organization. It needs some startup funds, and I'm sure that the good people involved in it will take care of and do proper accounting of what they get. They asked for they finally decided on 20,000, and I think that that's a reasonable request, and I hope that the town will consider that. Again, it's a mandated organization and it needs startup funds. So that it needs to be able to operate independently, and it will once money starts coming in from the Williston project and then hopefully from other projects. And secondly, I want to make a personal appeal for a sidewalk on Johnson Street so that those of us who are, I really feel like Onancock needs more sidewalks. We're supposedly a walking town, and you can take your life in your hands on Johnson Street. I won't even talk about Jefferson, which is not even beginning to be 2 lanes wide and was going to have a lot more traffic on it. And then, of course, there's other areas as well where I feel like we need sidewalks. If we are a walking town and a pedestrian-friendly town, then we need to develop a project to get sidewalks in other neighborhoods. Thank you.
Thank you. Donna?
Did you hear me from?
Yeah. Yeah, lean in.
Lean in, okay.
Or pull it, there you go.
Thank you. Okay, we're all different heights here. I'm really happy to be here tonight. I'm Donna Moser, Citizens for Better Eastern Shore. I'm the executive director. We're here because we're thrilled that our 31st annual Between the Water Bike Tour is going to be centered in Onancock. We've been here in the past, if you remember. It is the largest bike tour on the shore, the oldest, and it's the largest ecotourism event on the shore. We sell out every year earlier and earlier. Last year was July. It's 1,200 people, cyclists, plus their support teams. You can figure about 2,000 folks in your town come to see beautiful Onancock. The bike tour is well established. We have a very good reputation. It is a quality way to show off your town. When we first created it, or I wasn't involved, but our our organization, of course, needed to have a fundraiser for our small nonprofit, which is essentially an environmental organization, enhancing the quality of life of all our citizens. But we also saw, it has a dual purpose. This also was to be an economic impact for our towns and for our small businesses up and down the shore. We do 25, 40, 60, and 100 miles. So we do get around wherever we are hosted, but the host towns, you know, see the greatest impact. We look to partner with towns. We have a 4-year rotation, 2 usually in two usually in Accomack County and 2 in Northampton. Starting about 10 years ago, because this is our only fundraising event, we really have to leverage. So we teamed up with towns and occasionally a bigger business like Sunset Beach, who were down the far end of the shore one year, who want to be, you know, true sponsor. It's true sponsored with us, be true partners and help us and work with us. I did want to read some quick statistics. I gave you a report, so I'll just give you highlights. I don't want to take up, I know you have a lot of great folks here who want to talk. 90% of the riders come from places other than the Eastern Shore. So this is a true outside money into your town. We have 27 states are represented, you know, with the highest being, you know, after Virginia being Maryland and New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. 65 of the cyclists stayed 1 or more nights during their visit to the Eastern Shore. So this is, you consider this a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's not a one-day event. We know this because we do post ride surveys, and we've been doing them for years to find out what people spend for the income into your towns. We range now the economic impact, and it's conservative, 350,000 a year impact to the community. That's folks shopping, you know, lodging, doing different experiences, galleries, you know, you name it. That's how they're spending their time. Again, that's very conservative. Having been in tourism, I know sometimes, you know, multipliers and all that stuff gets out in the stratosphere, but we want to be really realistic about what it brings. So I've already met with the Historic and Hancock School, Joni, and sat down. There may be a Friday event that they do, and we will help promote it to our cyclists. Friday is a registration that's also in town. It starts from 3 o'clock into the evening, so you'll have the cyclists here. And of course, they'll be coming in on Saturday for the event. We do it in the late October. This year's the 26th of October, because again, it was meant to be an economic booster for like when things are waning, you know, businesses are looking at, you know, less and less income coming in, sort of an economic boost. And I think we've proven that we can bring that. Like I said, we met with Historic and Hancock Schools. We're considering an event. We will do that. Also sat down with Karen from Main Street Program and really had great brainstorming about, first of all, letting all the businesses in town know that we're here. And also she had some great ideas, and we just went back and forth about, you know, letting them know they want to have specials, or they just want to do something themed for the bikes. And then one year we had a themed movie, cyclist movie at the theater, which was really a kind of a cute idea. So, you know, it's all open, and it's all about bringing the businesses to the table to see how they can leverage having 2,000 plus people in town. Safety is always first. We work closely with the town and your police department. We already have the parking set up, you know, we have a really good parking system now, where you know what the spots are. So we work in, everyone knows where they are. I guess basically I want to say that this will bring a lot for CBs, but we also see that it will bring a lot for your town, and we want to make it as good for your citizens and for your businesses as we possibly can. So we're very flexible about doing that, because we showcase the shore to our cyclists, and it does a lot. They, you know, they love the volunteers, and they love the small towns, and certainly the gem. We always get a lot of positive feedback from the town. One other thing I want to quick stat is that we ask if people will come back you know, after, not just for the bike tour, do we expect to come back? And about 95% said they're extremely likely or very likely to come back and visit because they get such a great impression. I hope you will consider partnering with us for our request of $3,000 to be a sponsor. You would be, of course, on all the PR that goes out. You're also going to live on in infamy and our long sleeve t-shirts that Bethany Simpson, a local artist, always designs, and they're outrageously gorgeous. And she's painted a epic painting of the wharf at sunset. So and the cyclist going down, we raffle that off. We're gonna see if we can get at one of the restaurants to sell raffle tickets too. And you'll be on the professional bike tour, bike apparel too. So as the host town right up front. And post the flyers, you know, the usual deal. So we really hope that you'll look at this opportunity as a good one, as we can feel it is.
Bill, they've taken action against.
Thank you.
one of your
Any questions?
signatures on
Thanks so much for your
Thank
time.
you, thank you for.
Be able to do it.
What about Peter?
Use the budget?
I can say something,
It's not super safe, really. I can see how people would say it's not safe.
Greg Feldhausen, 5
So
Ames.
here's Greg.
At the last planning commission meeting, I brought up the topic of the upcoming comprehensive plan and made the suggestion at that meeting that the town kind of shift its focus to be more of an ecotourism town, which I think would go well with the biking tour. Along those lines also, I proposed the EV charging stations be supported by solar panel regeneration, which coincidentally might tie into the theater's need for heating and air conditioning systems, and also provide roofing or a cleaner entranceway into the back of the Chamber building and provide space for the winter market. So those are all just kind of future thoughts I think are open for consideration. And then secondly, also supporting the idea of sidewalks in town. I know personally across the street from my house, it would be great to have a sidewalk continuing off the bridge and over this stumpy pine. So we all want to consider that too. Thank you.
I think we need to walk up there. I like walking on the grass.
Rosemary?
I can see not walking in people's yards and on the grass, and then, or you driving, I agree with
Budget
that.
comments?
Is this public comment? Yes.
Yes, that's pretty good.
I am Rosemary Popero from 9 Holly Street. A couple of meetings ago, it was great to hear that the school is hitting all its marks. It's meeting or exceeding all its lease requirements. It has thousands of visitors annually. All the spaces are rented and it has almost, I think, $250,000 in the bank. So that's really terrific. So instead of the council member wish list to get 25,000, 50,000 or more to the school, I have 3 suggestions. One is that the council increase the annual stipend to 25,000 to the fire department, because we already know from our chief that they need funding to attract volunteers and to keep those that they have. I think the average age of our volunteers is over 50, so we definitely need new people in there. Second, that we also invest in our children by replacing wood mulch in the northeast under the northeast playground equipment with the same type of rubberized mulch that there is
You understand
in
anything?
the HOS. I mean, there's no reason that those kids should come down and suffer splinters and a heart fall. I mean, it's really just unacceptable. Also, in talking with some young people in town, they are really hoping that the basketball equipment over there in the court is refurbished. They said they want to play basketball. They have no place to go. It's decrepit. The other thing that's really bad up there is that the only place for caretakers for kids to sit are 2 decrepit wooden picnic benches. And I mean, those are the kind of benches that you have to climb in and out of. They should have the same quality of equipment, really, in my mind, as at the school. And the last thing is, in light of the town manager's, January 22nd meeting to provide water to the coastal development project and only, I think the town should retain immediately a water engineer and a hydrologist to determine the immediate, short-term and long-term costs to the town, to residents and taxpayers, and to determine the impact on our wells. This town spent last year over $60,000 with Hills Studios to count the parking spaces in town, and also to give us stock designs for lighting fixtures and signage. And I think to make the same investment, and it would probably cost less for a water engineer and a hydrologist to determine the effect of supplying an additional 1,000 customers outside town limits with water. I think that is absolutely critical. Thank you.
Patsy, Phil? Mark Sinclair? Budget comments, right? Yep. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Mark Sinclair, and I reside on Greenway Circle, just outside of town. It seems that every month, residents address this council with bees under their bonnets regarding the Nancock schools.
Put your
Can you
microphone
pull
up.
the mic up?
They strongly oppose any town funding being allocated to the school. Some even argue against rumored projects that don't even exist. I am here again to voice my support for any funding this council may offer to the Nancock School. The FOS has a long history of improvements which have been enjoyed by all members of this community. And I would even tell the pickleball people here, if you don't get the pickleball court up at the dog park, talk to the school. They might be willing to talk to you about it. The last figures I had were for about 2 years ago, when the school brought in 11,000 visitors in 1 year for ticketed events. If just 25 people visit the school every day, that's another 9,000 people. So over 20,000 people visit that school every single year. How many other local attractions bring in that many visitors? How much money does the visitors to the school bring to this community? I believe that the FOS has earned your support. They will continue to earn your support, and they deserve your support. On a sad note, I'm sorry to learn that the school is losing a major guiding force in June. Aiden Rochester and his wife, Janet, who have worked tirelessly for both the school and the community at large, are finally fulfilling their dream to move to Williamsburg. Your contributions to the school and this community are greatly appreciated, and I, for one, shall miss them. On a separate note, this town is planning on spending a lot of money on signage to promote its 1680 founding and associated history. And Nancock is truly an historic town, which is why I was surprised during a recent meeting with a council member to learn that the town of Nancock doesn't even have an historic district committee. It is that historic fabric that binds this town together that makes it so special. What protections are in place to preserve that fabric? Recent improvements in this town have brought copper-covered windows, a purple house, a patio roof that is taller than the building is attached to, even a bricked up window on a building with an historic district marker on it. Now, I'm not here as an architect, and I'm neither criticizing nor complimenting any project I just referred to. I'm merely saying they don't scream out 1680 to me. On a final note, the Bagwell Monument looks wonderful. Thank you for cleaning it up, and thank you for listening to me tonight.
Oh, there, hey, there you go.
I'm part of the board for the North Street Playhouse. I prepared another comment.
Sure, come on up.
Can I?
Yeah.
I can turn it.
I
heard you.
Not all the way, please.
Go ahead.
So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Onondaga Town Council. My name is Soribu Diaz-Bonilla, and I am the Vice President of the Board of the North Street Playhouse. I'm honored to be here to talk in support of our local theater. In 1914, the building where the North Street Playhouse is housed and operates opened as the New Theater. The building was in fact the first movie theater in Onondaga, and it was among the first wave of small storefront movie theaters in the country. In the year 2000 to the present, the building has come to its original purpose, and that purpose being of a place where a group of people are entertained. They are seated in one space, they are breathing and experiencing the same performance, or as Patsy described, poetry in motion. However, each one of them experience a huge range of personal and individual emotions that only live theater can provide. As one patron said to me the other day, it is a theater for myself when I get lost in another acting a part or a role. Our productions have consistently brought people from all over, not only to watch a play or musical or show, they come and visit the town of Onondaga and invest in the businesses of the town. Next up, we have 3 upcoming productions and a 2-week summer youth theater camp. This camp takes place right smack in the middle of the summer. So imagine this scenario. You have 2 weeks of daily high energy activity in a building that is struggling with its AC system. So we have 45 campers. By the way, we are full and we have a wait list going. And these campers are from ages 10 to 18, and they are quite busy doing so many things from rehearsing, painting, making sets, and of course, having fun in preparing for their youth theater production. We have 4 dedicated camp staff members, and we have between 3 to 6 parents and board members who also help set pieces and props. The track record for these performances is that they are 3 performances and they are sold out. In spite of the inconsistent temperatures in the building, it is the love of theater and entertainment that makes all of them keep going and endure the inconsistent temperatures inside the building due to this system that is on its last legs. So imagine a sold out performance in the summer. I'm done. Oh, okay, I'll hurry up. A sold out performance in the summer with about 150 people between stage and audience with lights shining on them. And it would be nice not to have to worry about the HVAC not working and how uncomfortable everybody is. So to finalize, I would like to say that a lot of these people are coming from out of town and they come to see these people perform and these youngsters. The Summer Youth Theater Camp brings a lot of people from various geographical locations. This year we have at least 6 students who are not local. They are here visiting grandparents or families plan their vacations around these camps. And just to give you a few ideas of where they come from, they've come from Seattle, New York, California, Massachusetts. So support the theater because we are here to ask for your financial support. We are great neighbors to this town.
Ed Vargas. Okay, you want to talk about? Okay, I'm sorry. You were talking about the budget?
No.
Okay, Karen, Karen, budget. Okay, we're all set. Okay, that's the end of the public hearing for the budget. Close the public hearing. Thank you all for your input. Like I said, we have a work session in on the 13th, and again, another public hearing on the 20th. You'll get a chance to actually look at the budget and see what the council is, wants to put in it, make more further comments. But thank you very much for coming. All right, on to the other council action. A has been removed. Like I said, resolution on U-turns. Matt?
Sure. We had a resident approach me who was walking her grandchildren up King Street toward north, and somebody did a U-turn and just about clipped the little ones. So she asked me if there were a way that we could eliminate U-turns at certain intersections. I talked with VDOT and they said they need a resolution from you folks in order to move forward with that. So that's the resolution that's in front of you. Is the three intersections are Market Street at North Street, Market Street at Ames Street, yeah, King Street at North Street, and then one generic one that says you can't do a U-turn if you're going to drive on somebody's lawn.
Where would that go? All right, okay, comments, I mean, I think, two of them sound pretty, non-controversial, I mean, I think you shouldn't be making a U-turn on Market Street in King, or make one on King and North either.
Right, they're crazy.
They're crazy, but the one on Ames, they used to be a U-turn sign on that
And then we
for
asked,
years and years and years, and, and then we asked for to have it removed, I'm not sure exactly why, because people were doing it, and nobody was enforcing it.
Right.
And they were turning around in my driveway.
right,
But I didn't, so it's council's, what do you want to do, so.
I think VDOT thinks we're crazy, because this is the very same street, Ames and Ames and Market, excuse me, that we asked them to take the sign down, not 8 years ago, I think it was about 8 years ago. And we asked that it be removed, because people can make a U-turn there, because the space is safe enough and big enough, but those other two absolutely should have a no U-turn. And when I read this resolution, I didn't see anything for signage that says that there's going to be a no U-turn.
There
sign.
has to be a signage in order to be enforced.
Because I saw something where it said it was going to be posted so that the public would know, but I didn't see that it said that there would be a sign there. But I think those two places, Market Street and North, I've seen people come out of a parking space on Market and make that U-turn there. That is absolutely nuts. I've watched the near accidents that happened there. Market and Ames, I hope that we would retain, because it's right at the post office and it makes a very quick turn back uptown. And King and North is crazy also.
Do we need a vote on this resolution?
I have a comment.
Yeah, well, Scott's
Well, you can also edit it. I mean, if
Yeah.
Ames Street is a stopper, then remove it.
yeah, I didn't know if somebody want to make a motion, that we could talk about the motion.
Yeah.
Other than I had a feeling.
We're just getting opinion, right?
I was just gonna say that we've talked about crosswalks. So I would think that if there's a crosswalk at an intersection, we wouldn't want to have U-turns there, or am I missing something?
Probably right.
What I'm hearing is, don't mess with the post office. I watched 2 cars today, as I walked the block, make a U-turn and head up Ames Street, or make a U-turn and head out of town. The other 2, I agree, have to be crazy, you U-turn on those.
Is there a crosswalk planned for front of the post office? Is there one, there's one across Ames there.
Yeah, there are 10 crosswalks that are gonna be engineered between between the wharf and Hall Street.
But that's an open space, and if someone were in the crosswalk, I don't think a person or a car at that spot, anybody would make the turn, I mean, it's still a safety first issue.
Is the police are there incidents of this, or they have?
Yeah, they're absolutely in favor of these.
All 3 of them?
All 3.
Is VDOT.
VDOT doesn't have an opinion because they wait for your resolution.
Because we're the ones who asked them to take it out.
And how would it, will there be a fine? Will it be enforced?
Yes.
If the police see somebody make a U-turn in front of the post office, what will happen? What's the consequence?
They're gonna take it.
Well, yeah, they would get a ticket, and the violators of this resolution may be subject to penalties as prescribed by applicable laws and ordinances that align with the uniform fine schedule plus processing fee. So that's the penalty.
So we have a motion here to, and so we can at least debate
I move that we adopt the resolution as presented by planning, is that right?
No,
No, okay, I move that we adopt the resolution,
For the three, all three.
yes,
Is
as
there-
written.
Is there a second? No second?
I move to defer this until we understand where the crosswalks are and the impact and the interaction of those two.
So you wanna put a crosswalk there and see if anybody gets hit with
No,
the turn?
I'm saying we should plan both of them at the same time.
Well, what about the other
Can't
two?
know the impact, right?
Well, where are the crosswalks? I mean, I don't have them memorized. Well, there's no second anyway, so.
I think that's a big plan.
So the motion
Look at where
fails.
the crosswalks, they'll go across Ames and Market, and then the probably will be one that's gonna go from that corner toward the post office. So I don't think we're gonna have U-turns and cars across them.
I just think we should plan the two of them together rather than doing
Yeah.
this now.
Motion fails.
Look at the crosswalk.
Did you second that, Ray?
Are you seconding my motion?
Yes.
Here's what motion you have.
That we look at both the crosswalk and this resolution together.
Coordinated planning.
Yes.
Okay, is there a second to that, so we're
I was
deferring?
second that.
Mayor, you have to get rid of that one.
It didn't get a second.
I did get a
Did it-
second.
No,
Okay, so you have to.
motion fails.
All right, we have a motion to, further get some more information about whether crossworks, is there, I guess we don't really need to vote on that, but yeah. All in favor?
Gotta vote on it.
Yeah, all in favor? Vote, okay, so we're gonna get some more information. about the crosswalks. Thank you.
Okay,
All right,
all three of them.
council discussion, project change orders for, Matt, you know, again.
okay. So sorry. The projects over at the Welcome Center and the Police Department, as with any project, is gonna have change orders that we didn't give thought to or weren't planned for when we started the job. We've gotten, one, two, well, let me count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at the Welcome Center. The largest is the parapet roof to match the Fraser Concept facade. The second would be the windows and doors. When I say windows and doors, that means bronze exterior doors with the front door having side lights and the 2 front windows and the 3 rear windows. The next large item is the awning that goes from the front door over to basically where the sidewalk's going to be between the bakery and the building. Then there's a few smaller ones, the rear awning over the door, the sidewalks in the front and the rear, those are just poured concrete. The office door for OMS, because we added an office, that office needed a door. So that's the price of the solid wood door with glass. And then there's a new gutter. So that total is $84,922. Then when we go over to the police department. That's right, because there were 2 new ones today. Yeah. The police department has a change order for a steel door in the back. Right now, it's just sort of a homeowner's door. A rear sidewalk in the back, and that's because it slopes toward the building, and whenever it rains, it just floods the inside. And then the police window replacement. There are 2 windows that we originally were going to try to use the original windows, and they're just not really usable. So there's a $1,700 change order for that. The way that I put this together was originally we had a 10% contingency on hard costs. The hard costs are $721,000. That's what the bid was from the contractor. We also saved $18,000 on switching out AC manufacturers. So between the contingency of 10% of the hard cost, which is 72,000, and the savings on the air conditioning units, that comes to $90,000. The total of the change orders, and I'm gonna throw a caveat in here, the total of the change orders except the roof repairs is 84,852, and that leaves 5,320 left of our contingency and savings. So we can do all of those things that I just mentioned, except the roof repairs. I'm looking at the roof repairs as something that should have been part of our operating budget and our maintenance anyway. We've got room in our operating budget. It's $13,000 for both roofs. They need to be sealed, they need to be coated, they need to be repaired. They don't need to be torn off. There's nothing like that. It's just a simple coating and repair. So that 13,000, I would suggest that we absorb that into our operating budget. And that means that we can do the change orders that, quite frankly, I think everybody had a vision of when Fraser drew the building and when Hill drew the awning with the interpretive signs underneath. It's kind of what we were thinking. The windows and doors, you know, those are old, drafty windows and doors. So by replacing those, I think it gives us the look that we're looking for, the quality that we're looking for, and it's also within the current budget. Now that only leaves 5,000 for future change orders, but at this point, we've framed in the Welcome Center. We're picking paint. I mean, there's not a lot going on in there as far as left to spends. So, and the police office is fairly similar. It's a very simple floor plan, and it's mostly all the cinder block that was already there. So I don't see, and the plumbing's all done and the electricity's done. So I don't see a lot of potential changes there. I just jinxed all that, but you know, so what I'm saying is you can do the change orders if you choose to. It leaves $5,000 and we'll absorb the $14,000 for the roof repairs that we probably should have done anyway. Most of that is over the police department.
Where would that 14,000 come out of the budget?
Repairs and maintenance.
Do you have an estimate on the 2 additional changes at the police station?
Yeah, they're right on the sheet. Steel door is $14.96 and the rear sidewalk is $57.51. The window replacement is $16.83. So all told about $9,000.
And what about the 2 that say being quoted?
Those were requests from me because one of the reasons that we're putting the front sidewalk in front of the Welcome Center is to make it more accessible for a handicapped person. And in my opinion, I think we need to have an automatic door opener so that if a handicapped person does need to get in the building, they can just hit that. And so that's one.
No argument with that, but just wondering what the rough price tag would be.
No idea. Absolutely no idea. And then the other is a storm drain. The storm drain right now, the folks at Lilliston are going to put 2 storm drains in and they're going to connect it to an existing storm drain. So it's storm water going where there's already storm water going. We would put one in the back of our building that would tie to theirs. So we would do the work. Not a big heavy lift as far as getting a cistern that can attach a culvert underneath. So.
And it sounds as though it wouldn't be a great distance for it to have to travel until it connected to that other. Is that?
It would be, if you remember in the diagram that was up for the building, the farmer's building, it would be on the left corner of the building, because what we're doing is we're taking the gutters from the side and we're flowing them underneath the sidewalk into this cistern because what we realized is that the ground slopes toward the bakery. And we simply will not flood the bakery. So that's where that came from. So we put 4-inch PVC underneath the sidewalk that'll daylight into that cistern. If we don't get the cistern, we'll probably just put corrugated conduit underneath the ground.
At the bottom of this welcome center page, it says, if there was a choice of product, I selected the highest, so you know
Yeah.
the most it would be. Is that from you or the contract?
That's me. Sometimes they gave one that said like the office door was 1861 or it was 1674. I just picked the highest one. We can make the decision whether or not we want the lesser expensive
Yeah,
down the
we had
road.
a conversation about the interior door, doesn't have to be that expensive. You know, we've
Is
got
this an outside door that we're talking about here?
2 outside and 1 inside, right?
Yeah.
No, when the front office was added, we needed a door for the rear office. Is that
Yeah,
an outside
The
door?
1841, that's the Main Street office door.
The back of the building.
No, interior office door.
1841 for an interior doors that sell for $50-$60.
That's what I
$200. I mean, that's a solid wood.
It is
door.
a solid wood door.
A $200 solid wood door. Lowe's, I checked today. Why are we paying 1841?
You were both shopping for doors today?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, we can talk about it.
It's a little
You're
weird.
Right, we don't need to spend that kind of money.
But what I'm saying, this is worst cases,
Yeah, right,
I
yeah.
guess I would say.
Yeah.
My concern is, I'm all for building a building that's where everybody's pleased with, which is probably hopeless, but, we allocated, or when we did our ARPA funding, $295,000 for these projects. We're at $900,000. We have to cut something, you know, I mean, I salute you for coming up with the money for it, but it's a lot of money to renovate 2 small buildings.
Well, I mean, if you look at the cost per square, it's not dissimilar to other projects, you know, I mean, for 1,000 square feet in the police department, it's 288,000. So yes, that's a lot of money, but it's not, I don't think exorbitant based on the construction cost today.
We got 3 bids, then it's not like we, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you're right. We can, there are ways to save money, yes, and I don't think we need to spend that. Exterior doors, we need security, and we did well. I think we can discuss that. We don't need to, that can be a, you know, we'll do our best, I think. To save some money on, yeah, we can talk about that. We need to talk about that at council level. Any other questions about anything? We need
General comment,
Mhm.
the concepts of the things that are listed here sound appropriate to do, and a lot of them strike me as that if we opt not to do them, we will really be shortchanging the potential of the 2 projects, especially the Welcome Center. Yes, it's been way more money than we thought it would be. Yes, it's even more than we thought it would be. And yet, incrementally, it's close, it feels as though we're close enough that we shouldn't shoot in the foot the purpose of the project for a comparatively small amount of money.
I'd like to comment that I think, and perhaps I'm wrong, but my understanding is that a 10% variance is not unusual. That is kind of the norm of what people will allow when they're building something.
Right.
So I don't think this is out of the question. Certainly, we should hold it down as much as we can.
Steve, Are we saying we can budget this? Do we need a resolution?
Well, I don't know if I need a resolution or I need permission to spend that because the contractor is saying to me that if we don't get these decisions, he's not gonna make the timeline.
Okay.
What is the timeline?
August 15th,
For both buildings?
yes.
So do we need, is there agreement on this or anybody all in favor of doing it? No, anybody? Joy?
I second it. Did you make a motion to that?
I was just doing it.
No, I thought it was.
Okay, we have a motion? Do we-
Want a motion?
Yeah, well, might as well. Okay.
I move we accept the change order as presented with the understanding that, Matt will try to reduce the prices where possible.
Second. All in favor, discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you.
Who's my second, right?
All righty.
Thank you.
Here, EDA support,
I guess that's me.
that's you.
Well, I think, Casey spoke very eloquently. We did, well, before I go to the money, all of the documents have been signed. That's good news. The performance agreement, the deed of trust, the promissory note have all been signed by the town manager, the chair of the ODEA, and the owners of Littleton. The MOU was unanimously approved at our last meeting. There is a request for a grant from town council for $20,000 to EDA. The question was asked, and I think it's a very valid question. For how long? We asked for 20,000. We have to have our own attorney. So that's where the majority of the funding would go to. Within a year, we will be receiving interest of $4,600 a month, which is $55,200 a year. We'll be financially solvent at that point. So this is just sort of a bridge to the point where we start seeing money. No, there's questions.
Oh, yeah.
I have a question about your number. But that's not, that has to be turned around into a revolving loan fund.
Right.
You can't
was
use
my
that for
question.
your operating.
Right.
expenses, Right, you can use the interest on, it, correct, am I?
Yeah, you can use the interest, but you can't use the corpus.
Yeah, so what would the interest be?
I'd have to get the amortization schedule out. I don't have that in my head.
Right. 'cause
But
But we hope to be financially
How,
within.
I saw that before too, and I said, how will you generate funds if the interest is supposed to be a revolving fund
No,
to?
the principal goes to the revolving fund, the interest. is-
Okay,
Yeah.
so what's the interest for? There's supposed to be, the town is supposed to benefit
Well,
from that.
it would be
And
the.
OEDA would be benefiting, but do we have dibs on the dough?
That's up to council, that's what she's requesting. I mean, I think they have no money right now, so you're, yeah, so we do,
We
yeah.
have no money, and we have been advised by Michelle Gowdy at VML that we should be independent from the town attorney. She is even, as I think I shared in an email, suggested that we meet elsewhere other than here to keep that independence. So it's, this passed with a 4-2 vote from OEDA, and we need an attorney.
And why, what makes the need for a separate attorney? And if you don't have any money to pay for it, and so then who puts the bill for that? It'd be the town. Why don't you use the funds that we have through the attorney we have until you generate funds?
As I said, we've been advised to have a separate attorney.
Okay.
I don't think that the attorney we have now for the town is an EDA attorney. We're looking at 3 that were recommended as EDA attorneys.
I'd like to also address the issue of town staff support for the EDA. I personally had always thought that the town would provide seed money to the EDA. And that the EDA would become independent of the town and not require staff time. Which to me is quite expensive, more so than the $20,000 a year that you're requesting. that's where our cost will really be in staff time spent supporting the EDA. And so any memoranda between the town and the EDA, I would like to contain language about the EDA becoming independent within 6 months. You've been in existence 6 months already. And I think that an additional 6 months should be sufficient time to become independent of town staff time.
Can I chime in on that 1 second? Okay, the only reason that I would ask for a little bit longer is that the MOU that we signed at the last meeting allows the EDA to use the town's portal for submitting reimbursements. And we won't have all the reimbursements done yet, but I do have a portal for the EDA started so that once the next project comes along, then they'll be flying solo. But it's going to take me a little longer than 6 months because the building's going to take a little longer than 6 months.
When we discussed at the last meeting, our goal was to have our cam set up within a year.
Yeah.
In a year.
So are you saying it's gonna take an additional year?
For the building? No, I don't
The
think.
cams to be set up.
Well, the cams being set up is, no, that's not gonna take a year. What's probably gonna take a year is another project to put into that cams, in order to get another grant, it's gonna take time. So that's not my time, but once we get the cams, nobody on the EDA knows how to use it. So I would say that there's gonna be a little overlap. As far as when Lilliston's gonna finish, once they get the first revolving loan, they're gonna be able to push through to the end very quickly. So
I was under the impression that Lisa Figgy does know how to use cams.
she probably would.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
What be cams?
Oh, CAMS is the portal that you manage all the grants with DHCD. Yeah.
Well, again, just, I'll finish. Again, my interest is in limiting Matt's time spent supporting the EDA. He has enough to do with the planning commission and the town to keep 2 people busy, more than likely. And so he doesn't really need to add a third organization.
Well,
I agree.
Well, we've got to think on, you're requesting some money first, so let's get, well, we can take this up at the budget here, we have, at the budget, we only decide that the second. Correct?
But you're looking for those funds this fiscal year, correct?
Yes.
Oh, we are, oh, that's different matter. Okay.
And
So where are we gonna get
if
it
you're
from?
not, yeah, maybe some counter offers.
I don't know.
Give something.
Well,
Anything.
I think, I mean, the interest on the money is not that much, it's only a couple $1,000s a year. I'm
Yeah.
looking at. So you're not, the rest of the money has to be turned over into a revolving loan account that gets loaned back out to people that have similar projects.
Yeah, typically EDAs get grants that have an administrative component.
Yes.
And, HUD grants have an 11% administrative component. That's where you would use that money.
Yeah, but the little bit of money they're gonna get from the Wilson project is it's not a lot of money. Yeah. So, but the money they get in loan repayment has to be loaned back out under the same agreements that Wilson got it.
That's correct.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so the
That's a revolving.
$55,000 coming in
Yes, is managed by the EDA.
and goes out as loans to other
Projects that qualify.
projects that qualify.
You know,
Okay.
the state would have to wait, or the town has to do it, but they have to follow state regulations about what.
Okay, and the 2.5% or 2%, whatever it is, 2.5% interest,
That could go,
it would be your operating funds.
that's not a lot of money though, if you did, yeah.
But that's what it would be, correct?
That's my understanding. I don't know what that interest number would be. You'd have to run the
You
numbers
gotta
on that.
calculate it.
And they could pay back early,
It's
correct?
gonna be, yes, they could. It's gonna be less than 25,000.
2.5.
Yes, right, spread over a
Right.
20-year period, right? So I was, $2,000 a year. is about-
No. It'll be $1 million times 2.5% is
Right.
25 grand.
So
Yeah, right, but that's spread out over the whole
isn't
time.
that the interest?
No, that's payment each month.
Oh, each month. Okay,
Yeah.
right.
So how much is the interest? You just did some quick math there.
Give or take 25,000 for the first year.
Okay, so
Well, that is
that's
fair
enough operating.
It's a
funds.
wash.
That's enough
We're not
operating
gonna get that
funds.
right
We
away.
don't have that.
Cut your budget.
Okay, so, you've got a request for, this fiscal year.
This
correct?
fiscal year.
Okay, and Where's that money gonna come from again?
I don't know yet. You haven't approved it. Once you approve it, I'll find it.
Well, we don't have any money. We can't, is it gonna come out of reserves or come out of our budget this year?
I don't know
You
yet.
don't know yet, okay. So you could give us could you give us some scenarios and we can,
Yeah, we could do a budget transfer from the sewer department over to over to town council.
Can I ask this? Why? Why not continue on the way you're doing right now until you have money? You wanna spend money from the town, but without having funds of your own, and next year you'll have money. Right?
We've been advised that Howard.
I understand, but you'll have money, you can afford it
So
next year.
you're saying just go without an attorney for a year?
Well, go with what you got, because you're spending money you don't have, and then you're asking the taxpayers to pay it, so I don't think that's right.
On the other hand, if there has been well-considered advice that it is in the interest of the town and the authority for them to have independent legal counsel, it seems
Right.
appropriate to try to make that happen.
Next year.
They're a separate, totally separate legal entity. And to my mind, the sooner they become totally separate, the better off we all will be.
so you're requesting so you're requesting $20,000 in this fiscal year that ends in 3 months. And so it's gonna cost
2 months.
$20,000 to hire an attorney for 3 months,
Well, we're hoping that until our interest starts to come in.
but we don't. I mean,
We said for a year, I think. We can
but
make
so
that.
some of that would come out of next year's budget, correct? I mean, it wouldn't all come out, we're not gonna pay it,
There you go.
everything up front, correct? I'm just trying.
Right, I mean, we could prorate it all you want, but if we're gonna maintain true independence,
Right.
then we're gonna have to get you separately insured, you're gonna have to have separate D&O insurance, you're gonna have to.
An audit.
So there are other costs beside the attorney. okay.
Well, our audit is going to include the EDA. It's $3,000 that they add to it. It's an appendix to the audit. If you want to pay for your own separate audit, that's going to be $20,000.
Question? Can the town lend them money?
No, the EDA
Why,
has one money.
why give it?
Right?
It's a
I'd
loan,
have to ask a lawyer.
thank you.
Well, that was what I thought we were originally going to do. Like I said, this came in off what you do, but I had a hard time taking off my council hat and putting on my EDA hat, but I think that's the purpose of having a council member on EDA is you are able to see both sides of the issue. And
And thank you for that.
it's not a good place to be. I don't think I should make the motion, but if anybody else is willing to.
I am curious about the timing, how much of that 20,000 would be needed between here and the end of June for the current year versus on into the next year.
You'd rather see it come out of next year's budget, is what you're saying?
I'm saying if you need a quarter of it to spend in the first 3 months, that in this next 3 months, then, or really 2 months, because we're at the end of April.
I think
What is the need within this year versus for the budget farther out?
I think the hope was that we would not be back to ask for more, that this would take us not with this upcoming budget through the next budget cycle.
So it would take you through the whole next year's budget.
Right.
So I'm just trying to understand it. So would $4,000 or $5,000 in this year and then 15 in the new budget that we'll be hashing out soon give you what you need? I'm trying to understand the timing of what you're looking to
And what do you
do.
do with it?
We originally had a lower number to ask for. And there were people on the EDA whose opinion we have high regard for and respect. And they felt that $20,000 was the appropriate amount to ask for. And that we would not have to come back to council asking for more.
I guess my question is, because we're at the end of this
I
year,
understand your question.
I get the intent of coming only once. But it would make more sense to me to either to split it up or to at least to have a feel for the amount of the immediate need.
Could I bring up something on page 30? I'm looking at our budget figures, our financial reports. Matt, it appears to me, and you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, that we have in our net amount remaining to expend this fiscal year more than we would require if we were spending the same amount in each quarter. Now, I know we don't always do that. Can you
Well,
give
we
me a
don't-
projection?
Well, we don't generate the revenue in the last quarter either because we've already passed our tax season. So if you allocate out, the last quarter and we have zero revenue, this net number is going to dwindle quickly.
Yes. Will it dwindle more quickly than a third of the total expenditures today?
I don't believe so.
Well, then that would leave us way more than $20,000 in our current budget.
I have a question also. Is this ask any different from any other? I mean, from any other organization, from anything else, or do we weigh this differently than a request from any other organization?
That's the legal entity of the town.
We created it.
I'm
We
asking-
created it.
And
I'm
it
asking-
is to benefit the town.
Different.
We're working for the town.
And I've got an answer. Okay, so would you not put this in the budget for the next year? Just because we're at the end of the year, just as we would anything else? I mean, you get hit at the end of the year with a $20,000 ask. Do you just say, pull it out of the air and pull it out of whatever you can? Or would you say, put it in the budget for next year? What's the difference?
As I just said, I believe we have the money this year, if you look at your financial report.
So then you get it every year.
No.
Yeah, you're right.
No, we're not asking, we won't be asking. for-
Okay, because you'll have enough money from the interest.
Let's get a motion on the table here.
I move that we approve funding the EDA with $20,000.
Do we have a second on that? Second, discussion on it? Or-
I don't think it's a conflict of interest for me to vote. I'm here tonight as a council member. I don't know. No personal gain. No personal gain to me.
No, not. Any further discussion? All in favor?
I,
Opposed? 4-1 carries, okay. All right, you're gonna come up with a way to come.
Yeah, well,
All right, personnel, committee reports, Cindy?
This really shouldn't be on here because we're only scheduled to meet quarterly. We don't meet again until June.
Hancock Main Street?
Okay, and Hancock Main Street is in the process of wrapping up the Virginia Tourism Commission Marketing Leverage Program. And if you'll recall, the town voted to fund a $20,000 match for that grant, which, since it's a 1-to-1 match, that meant that we got an additional $20,000 for a total of $40,000 in marketing money for an Hancock. The list of the marketing projects you've heard before, but the New Kent Welcome Center Blitz that featured an Hancock as the primary advertiser for July, August, and September of 2023 at the New Kent Welcome Center. Was seen by 140,000 visitors in July, 120,000 in August, and 114,000 in September. The Virginia Living magazine ad, it was a quarter-page ad in the September-October issue and that has a readership of over 600,000. The Virginia Travel Guide, a 6-page ad in the Virginia Tourism Guide that has a print readership. I forgot to clarify this because it says 688,000, but I don't think you can have a readership in common, so I'm a little confused on that point. Not sure which. Then advanced travel and tourism. As you probably remember, there was paid Google search, display, social media, and Spotify ads from August through March, and that's generated 2.5 million views, 48,000 visits to experience Hancock.com, and an overall click-through rate of 1.95%. That campaign will continue through the end of June 2024. It also funded the Valentine's promotion shoulder season that helped attract business for our downtown district during that shoulder season. And then there's a spring shoulder season promotion that's coming, being developed now. That's it.
Thank you. Questions, Main Street? Historic and Hancock School?
Thank you. There's a lot going on, outdoors, playgrounds, story trail, disc golf, and there's newly installed soccer goals. And the walking trail have been busy, and everybody please come and take a walk. And especially on Saturday, May 4th, which is the Field Day Fiesta from 9 until 3. It's a new event with field games for children and adults with competitive relays in the morning and free play games in the afternoon with food, beverages, and live music. Registration is open now on the school's website. Tickets are available for sale at the Red Queen. There's $10 entry fee or at the school on the day of the event. Bring your own chair and your friends and stay for the day. The next is June 8th, which is a Saturday from 11 to 3, is the second Blooms and Brushes Garden and Studio Tour. There will be several houses in Mount Prospect featured with Eastern Shore Art League artists painting on plein air in each garden, open studios at the school, and a silent auction of wet paint art from the day at a reception at the end of the tour. Tickets are also available on the website and at the book bin. And Wine Wednesdays, the next one will be on May 1st from 5 to 7, spotlighting a new Eastern Shore Art League show. And then the physical thing, that pavilion construction is ongoing. Concrete work in the crawl space is complete. The flooring is in. One of the 2 wings has been framed and sheathed. And we look forward to collaborating with other organizations and local talent, several of which have expressed an interest in working with the school. Those include ESO from Belhaven, Roseland Cinema and Entertainment Center, and Hancock Business and Civic Association, Phil Rhythm, the Orchestra of the Eastern Shore, Accomack Community Band, Johnny Moe Mallard's Restaurants and Catering, and North Street Playhouse. Fundraising is underway. Any questions?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Planning Commission, Matt, I guess you.
Sure. We spent the day or the hour rather, finalizing the parking ordinance that we've all gone through. We're going to go through one more revision, and then the rest of the time we spent basically planning the year on what we were going to do and which ordinances we were going to review.
Okay, thank you. Any questions about planning? Waterfront, Matt, again.
Basically, we were just talking about the opening. We opened April 1st. The biggest the biggest ordeal we had was fixing that trip hazard down in front of the Harbor Master House. And that's been taken care of. So we talked about opening, we talked about staffing, and we've got, all but 2 of our young people are coming back, which is great because they got rave reviews last year.
And they're already trained.
And they're already trained, so, pulling for us. So it's gonna be a good opening and our reservations are on par with last year.
Yeah, the concrete work is great, and shout out to Terry and
Yeah,
they did a great job
huge.
with the drainage, the little drainage thing, so well, I think it's gonna be really nice, and the concrete work was. They were real, I think they're real proud of that.
Yep, they are, and should be.
Speaking of drainage, not that there's anything any of us can do, but I see more and more often the parking lot as pond. Is there? I mean, we know the duck bill didn't work because when it comes back over, that doesn't do the goal. Is there conversation? Are there choices? Are we just gonna end Market Street and end King Street and there's a pond at the end? Or
Well, that's something RAC discussed in the beginning, when we had the engineering firm, Clark Nexum from Virginia Beach, who does maritime things such as this. First was the duck bill, second was bumpers, rubber bumpers around the ward. You were there, weren't you, right? And they suggested that. And then the third was raise the harbor master office, but that doesn't solve the water coming in. So
yeah,
The
I
harbor
mean,
master,
I'm
it's already
thinking more about
raised.
the parking lot and the.
there may come a
Understood.
time when we have to consider. And that's going to be a very expensive project to keep floodwaters back.
I remember with the bumpers, and they were talking about doing that, but that still wouldn't be able to do it all the way around and you'd still have a problem. Sorry,
That's not a good solution.
it wasn't a good solution, no, and that was the only other one was aside from the duck.
And we don't own the roads, and the state roads, right? And they've got hundreds of roads all around the county that are being flooded, right? And all they're-
Yeah.
And the frequency now, it happens so often, you
Yeah.
can, but
I know.
Well, they were talking about putting the bumpers though around the harbor master parking lot, just that area
Well, you
there.
know, yeah, the harbor master's up high enough, we're not.
Yeah, that's state, that's the only
And
place state.
Mount is up high too. All right, any other questions for the, department? Waterfront? You've already done the EDA report, correct?
Yes, I just want to say thank you. It'd be very discouraging to go back and now Rosemary, I think we're tasked to come up with some additional projects to generate some revenue, and that is our goal. It's, we have the authority to seek out grants and make improvements in the town. And I'm sure that we'll see them. Thank you.
All right, back to public comment again, Ed Vargas, is he here? And Karen, you still? No. Anybody else want to make public comment?
Can I just ask a question?
Yes.
We've heard a lot about the loan from the Economic Development Authority. They don't even have permission to sign the loan agreement yet.
I'm sorry, I didn't, what'd you say? I'm sorry.
They don't even have permission to sign the loan agreement yet.
The loans are signed.
It's already signed?
All paperwork has been signed.
Okay. When would you expect the first repayment of the loan? It's construction loan, sometimes that's 6 months out.
It's the first of the month following the certificate of occupancy is when the payments begin.
Okay,
So we're thinking a year.
okay.
I don't think it's gonna be
So
that
it's a year
long.
before you get any payments?
One person at a time here, what,
But if it's a year before they get any payments, it sounds like they're gonna need more than $20,000.
well, we've already, but I understand, we've already.
Thank you.
Yes, go.
They start repaying on the loan principal as soon as they get it. They'll start repaying the next month. They get funding, say they get 25,000, they'll be paying 2.5% on that 25,000. Plus the amortization.
Okay, so.
Let's get back, yeah, that's a private conversation, let's get back. All right, any other public comment? Thank you, all right, Mayor's report, I don't really have much, I'll defer to that later on. Town manager report?
Yeah, I'll keep mine short and sweet. We've talked about the repair made down at the wharf, that there's no trip hazard, but I just want to give the guys a shout out again. They shoveled all of that gravel and 57 by hand. They did a phenomenal job. We did receive the Ready, Set, Go grant for 10 sidewalks. What a Ready, Set, Go grant does for us is it pays for all engineering and costing of that project so that we would know what we'd be required for if we were to apply for a TAP grant, which is the next thing.
You said sidewalks, this says
Crosswalks.
crosswalks.
Okay.
Sorry, did I say sidewalks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're getting 10.
Right, yeah, no, we're not getting anything like it. 10 crosswalks, sorry. They're also moving our King Street project. They're updating all of the engineering and costing information for that, so we might be able to move that project sooner than I had put in the capital budget.
And that's that connector at the end?
Yeah,
Sidewalk
that's you.
connector
Yep,
at the
that's
end.
you. Yep.
Thanks.
And then one fun little thing is the community college wood shop has made the dog park a dog house. So they made a 3, and it is a beast. It's 3 by 3 by 4 feet high. It's all pressure treated lumber. It's shingled on the top. I don't know who's gonna move it, but it's really generous. So
The houses.
yeah.
Matt,
That's right.
didn't we have, OBCA offerings to get us a sunshade for the dog park?
There are 3 sunshades they got us, and we've got the first one up, and it was me and another weekend warrior, and it's a little crooked, so we have a plan.
Great, I'm glad to hear.
We have a plan.
Are we gonna have an opening ceremony for the dog park? We just not, got it. Yeah.
That sounds like a council thing.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice. Maybe when we get everything done up there.
My dog will go.
Can I ask a question about the facade improvement grant? Is that the latest expenditure to date? 26,000?
But there were a couple more after that, weren't there?
I paid to Friday
Okay.
to Blarney.
So that's
So
not in
that's
this.
not in
Yeah,
that.
that wasn't in there. And then,
So that's another 10,000
and Roseland was approved. Mhm.
so far,
Mhm.
additional,
6,000.
no. 41,000.
Yeah, that's right. 41.
Okay, Matt, you still, anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, all right.
I've got another question for you.
Sure.
The cameras, is that moving around, just still continuing to refine, or?
Yeah, we
Are
got
you-
permission from the North Street Playhouse to put electricity up on the side of their building, so we can put one there. That'll get Market Street and Ames, so that one I think is gonna be important. We also are gonna be moving the one on Pine Street and Watson over to Bundick Street. And we've got one at the corner of Boundary that's not working right now, so we're gonna take that down and put that over on Hill, pointing right down at that 3-way intersection.
And are they doing what we had hoped that they would do as far as getting the information of what's going on?
The license plate recognition isn't working as well as we had hoped because they don't work it at night, and that's just silly. So they work great during the day. I can tell who's coming and who's going and all of that, but once it gets dark, we're learning that they have to be under a very bright street light. So like license plate recognition in the northeast section works beautifully because they've got such powerful street lights. But when you get out to Market Street by the sign, they're just too tall, they're too far apart, we can't see. So that's where we're fine tuning. So we've turned off the LPRs right now because, well, quite frankly, it's a subscription that we don't want to pay for if they don't work. But we are moving things around and we'll probably add a couple next year and just keep plodding along.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions, financial, I think? Okay. All right, council comments, Ray? Joy?
Yes, I do. I really like the suggestion that Casey gave for coffee with a counselor. So I went over to the pub, asked Mary and Elon if that was a possibility. They do not serve breakfast anymore. So, I would be happy to organize that. If you think, you know, it may fly, it may not, we may sit here. I'm personally calling it tea with a counselor, because I don't drink coffee, so. But could we do it here in the town hall?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking about doing a similar thing, but, but it'd have to be a separate, one person at a time, yeah.
Well, could we not just have like 6 stations where you could?
That would be a FOIA violation. But,
It's not a FOIA violation if you're not doing official business.
well, you don't think somebody's gonna come in and talk about official business stuff?
No, but you
We're
don't
not taking
make
any
any
action.
As long as you don't take any action, you don't make a motion and decide to spend money and stuff
That's
like
not
that.
exactly, you doesn't have to, you can't be discussing official business, doesn't have to do with motions or action.
I
You
don't
can't
see-
discuss official business.
I don't see it as a discussion. I see it as us listening.
I think that anybody's gonna tell you that if you're gonna get a bunch of, more than 2 council members here, that's considered a meeting, especially if you're doing it in the council chambers. I can guarantee you they're gonna tell you that.
Check with Michelle Downey.
But I'm just gonna tell you
Mayor,
that.
you're correct, Mayor.
Huh?
You are correct.
Yeah.
I also add.
I have no problem with doing 2,
Is there any way to do it then, other than
just one
person at a time?
Well, two at a time, that would be, if somebody wants to do it, I would be with a council person, and sometimes I would, like, wouldn't mind doing it, some people want to, talk to this one person, or 2 people, we could rotate when we do it. Yeah, but I think that you can't do the whole county.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And my other thing is sidewalks. I really would like to see some sidewalks around town, especially from the corner of the Ames Street Bridge up to Crescent, hopefully up to Liberty. That is a very dangerous place to walk. And we bill ourselves as a dog-friendly town, and we are. So I would like to start there, and I'm going to be talking sidewalks for a long time.
Excellent.
So the other thing is our audio video, Matt.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's talk about that.
working tonight?
Working fine.
Yeah, but it's not consistently.
No, it's
working.
not consistently working.
So,
There's just been a lot of troubleshooting with it. Just, there was new equipment, there's things with,
No, we're fine tonight.
it's working fine
It did
now.
not
Yeah,
report
we did.
PDA meeting.
Yeah, that's fine, okay. We'll work on it.
Again, that's just where we're not experts in it. So usually when there's an issue, we try to troubleshoot what that issue is. We've worked out about 7 or 8 big ones thus far.
I know you're really trying. I
Yeah.
understand.
We thought tonight would be good.
I just want to call everybody's attention to the state budget process. The governor vetoed the budget bills for the state, and the governor and a small group are working out a budget that will be revealed by, I believe the date was May 13th publicly. One of the things that had been under discussion was an internet sales tax. I don't know if this affects any of the artisans at the school, but anyone buying or selling on the internet would be subject to a 6 or 7% sales tax. This is a new tax. It's not very business friendly. So I would suggest that if you have an opinion on this topic, you contact your representatives and the governor and let them know your feelings about a new sales tax on internet sales. It would affect your Netflix subscriptions, I order Kindle books, anything that you're buying or selling on the internet would be affected.
Did you get a response to your?
No, not yet. I did email Michelle Gowdy, but she hasn't responded to me yet, whether the BML would be following this issue.
Question on that, is that in addition to this?
Right, to what they already charged.
To the base sales tax for the state, or is it?
There's no tax on internet sales for the state right
Yeah,
now.
there is.
Yeah, everything I buy internet, I get charged sales tax.
It sounded like it was a totally new tax.
I thought they were talking about the streaming service.
I think it's online subscriptions like TurboTax, like Netflix, like that type of thing that are gonna now have.
If you got a software update.
Yeah, that type of thing.
That kind of stuff.
Right, but we already remember a couple of years ago, we got that really big increase in our sales tax revenue. That was because Amazon started to have to collect.
Yeah, well, they've already been doing that.
Okay.
All right, Mavis, anything else?
No.
All right.
I just wanted, thank you. I didn't say I would have to. I just wanted to ask, we have a budget for advertising.
Yes,
Okay, would the bike tour $3,000 request come under that?
yes,
So that could be something that's just one of those things that we could just do.
yes.
Okay, I would also like to see a list of all the requests that came in tonight. And I know you have.
I have them and I'll
Yeah,
forward
but
them back
if there's
out.
any way, some things are possible to fund, some things impossible. I just want to know if there's possibilities in that. And there was one other thing I put on here. Back to Casey Greer's comment about getting town hall meetings, I make myself available, my phone number is available, my email is available, where I work. Anybody can drop in and talk to me at any time, but what Cindy said is you're only talking to one person at a time. And so, that's an opinion and it's not a fact until all of us get to it. So I think that somehow, I don't know whether there's a rule against it or I know that no more than two counselors are supposed to talk at one time, but we should be able to have a give and take somewhere along the line. And I also would hope that somewhere down the line, we would be able to maybe have 2 meetings a month or something, because this goes on and on. But I would like the opportunity for you to ask a question while we're doing something. Because while we're discussing it and then we vote on it, and then if you have a comment after, it's pointless. I used to sit in that front row when I was not on council and say, excuse me, until somebody listened to me. Because it's important to hear what you have to say while it's being discussed. So, Mr. Mayor, I don't know, I know you conduct the meeting the way you want it done, but I just think people should have an opportunity to say, hey, thank you.
An update on the wayfinding signs committee. We've met twice and are, I think, close to designation of what we would like to see on the signs and where we would like to place them. There's some stuff working out with VDOT as far as the number of characters of what we want to put on some of the signs and the space and the room that there is for that. So there's some fine tuning that we need yet to do, but we're making good progress, I think.
All right, thank you. All right, I guess we have a closed session, so somebody will read the,
Got it.
yeah.
I move that we enter closed session to discuss personnel matters as allowed by
That's clear.
2.2-3711A.
What did you just say?
Personnel matters.